It's 8 a.m. in the morning. I cannot believe that I'm ready like this. And I did not do yoga, only meditation. My agenda kind of packed from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. And of course, I'm wrapping up the day with a party at Imposter Studios. I'm saying it's gonna go until 10 p.m., probably gonna go a little bit further. The orange party. Wait, the orange party. But I'm very excited because I'm going to be joining a bunch of very amazing women in a panel to discuss, how do we empower more women, how do we find our own voice and talk about our own voice into the world. Hello. Oh. Yes, microphone is on. My name is Roberta Lucca. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've built 4 companies, all in technology and games.
My name is Kathy. I'm currently the founder and director of a company called CEW Communications.
I'm Nicole Yershin and I've written a book. It's an Amazon #1 bestseller.
My name is Anthony McGuire. 5 years at Facebook and last year I left to start my own company.
And eventually I found my voice, I found who I am, what I really love doing. Which is creating new companies, creating new products, and engaging with millions of people around there. The best way that I deal with my imposter syndrome is through having deep conversations with people. And that grounds me, and that makes me connect with myself again and think that, imposter syndrome is just in my mind. And I think as we kind of grow up, we become overthinkers, we become overcritical to ourselves because we need to be perfect. And then when you start a business and you look around yourself and there's nothing to hang on to, you're literally there in the middle of the ocean and you need to swim somewhere and you're just gonna discover yourself in the journey. That's when everything becomes put into perspective. You start understanding that failure is exciting because it's about learning. The next event is at the London Stock Exchange, and it's with Silicon Valley Council UK and London Partners, which I'm half an hour late.
So important, and do ask anyone
From the London Stock. So I'm going to be very honest. The more I achieve in my life, the more imposter syndrome I have. I think the way that I see resilience is a muscle. The more I do the little things on the day-to-day and I challenge myself and I can feel that I can achieve things, the more I believe that I have the confidence and the competence to do more things.
That's why you're
Always in a hurry. Always in a hurry. Like there's no one time that I'm actually just, what do you say, strolling? Now it's gonna be a very cool panel in a very cool place called Huckletree, which is a co-working space in London. They host a lot of really amazing startups. Tonight we're gonna be discussing how can we change the bias on the way that we run our businesses, how can we get more women starting businesses. Every time that I join a panel like that, it makes me reflect a lot on my journey and the things that I've done to get to where I am. And everything that is related to that, from building my confidence, dealing with imposter syndrome, dealing with this noise that, welcome to London. But what I find the most interesting is that when I'm talking to a crowd, that it's mixed men and women. Because I think anything that we want to change, we need to change together. I'll give you a practical example. I think we're lost. When seatbelts were created, all of the dummy guys who were inside the cars, they were all men and tall and like physical body of a man. Children and women got injured. And it's just because there were not enough tests with people like our size and our type of body. So all of those little unconscious bias that happens when we make decisions, when we make products to the world, and nowadays when we're creating artificial intelligence, they need to be seen. We need to start observing them. And so having in the same room men and women discussing those issues and finding ways to change things together and to take their little actions or big actions on the day-to-day, it's hugely important. Hello. I was very calculated about planning ahead in terms of saving enough money, and also I was literally working full-time at Nokia while I was working in the evenings and over weekends at Bossa. So I spent probably about 4 or 5 months doing that until the point that I was like, okay, now I can take the leap. And then I found myself very early on at Bossa in a board meeting with like really top guys in a large organization, and I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know how to behave in a board. You need to know what kind of business you're building, and so you know what is the game that you're going to be playing, right? There are routes that you can just have angels, it's like, you know, crowdfunding. There are so many different ways that you can raise capital for your business. You need to be brave to go into rejection mode, because it's like, if you want to go and play this game, you're going to go and spend a lot of time pitching to a lot of investors who will say no to you, and it can be very deflating. Ready for the orange party and the dog, of course. That's it. End of the day, we're having a small little party tonight, which we're actually celebrating International Women's Day. And I think the whole point about being orange party is that there's no gender here, there's no color, there's no nationality. We're all celebrating the vibrancy of the company and everything that we're building together. There is a very recurrent theme that I see every time I go and talk on stage to share my story or to, you know, be a panelist exchanging information with others, is resilience. You need to keep taking risks, and so you feel that you can do more. There is a massive fear of failure. There's no supporting system around you, which is very different when you are in a corporation or when you are working in any company, right? Suddenly you are on your own, and you need to make time for yourself, and you need to keep doing things even though you might fail a lot. I would love to know from you, what are the things that you've learned through failure? How much resilient you think you are? And if you're not, what is missing? Put on the comments. I'd love to build this conversation with you and hear more from you. If you haven't yet, subscribe and click the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.